Velkommen til endnu et livestream. Det er spændende. Det er en spændende tid lige nu. It's an exciting time right now. Nu har vi superchats og emoji og alle mulige spændende nye ting. Man kan blive medlem her på kanalen. You can now become a member on the channel and you get all kinds of badges, emojis, super chats, bonus podcast episode videos, bonus videos. There's going to be merchandise, all kinds of stuff. It's really amazing. Jeg vil gerne sige tusind tak til alle jer, som ser med, som ser mine videoer, og som er generelt med her på DanishTube. Thanks everybody that is in general watching my videos, commenting on my videos, listening to the podcast, in general a part of the DanishTube universe, because you've made this possible. I've been working towards this milestone for a long time, and well, I want to celebrate it. I'm opening up the chat here. Hej, så skriver jeg i chatten. Hvis der er nogen med, så sig hej. If anybody's with me, say hello. And well, today I wanted to do a little on Danish verbs, verber på dansk. Hvordan man bøjner dem. Bøjner. Bøjner is a really funny word, which is how you say conjugate. And I thought we could take what I call the first two groups, because there's basically two patterns that are very common and that a lot of verbs are conjugated in this way. So I've taken some verbs with me and I'm going to give you an example. Then I'm going to test you a little bit. Wow, you can do it. It's easy. So if we take the verb acceptere, to accept, of course. So I should really write at acceptere, or acceptere, to accept. So this is what's known as the infinitive of the verb. You know, in English we have to something, to accept, to eat, to drink, blah, blah, blah. I've tried to take some more interesting verbs, not just drinking and eating. But, so we have in Danish, infinitive. Then we have nu til, present tense. Dertil, past tense. Før nu til og før dertil. Present perfect and past perfect. Før nu til, før dertil. So, when we're conjugating these verbs, all we need to do is refer back to our infinitive. That's going to be like our base form, right? So we have acceptere. In the present tense, nu til, we add an R. For now, we'll say always. It's not always, but for now it's always. Plus R. Så bliver det acceptere. Acceptere. Easy, right? Dertil, past tense, we add a D and an E to the infinitive. So we don't keep the R, we go back to the infinitive, acceptere. So we add a D and an E to our infinitive form. And the last one, we add a T to the infinitive. So accepteret. And this is when it comes with either har or hell. So you never write it unless you have one of those words. You know, I have accepted, I had accepted. Jeg har accepteret det. Cool. Then we can go back to the front and add in the imperative. Imperativ. Sådan her. What is the imperative? Do you know? The imperative is basically when you give somebody a command, right? You tell them, I don't know, accept it, or eat your food, or go away. So in general, the rule is this time, referring to our infinitive again, now we lose the E. So, let me write it here. Acceptere, without the E, acceptere. And I do it in that order because, well, really you should start with the imperative and then go through the order, but you know, if we had a table. But it's nice to start with the infinitive because it gives you this very clear construction. So, that's it. a high percentage of verbs will follow that exact pattern. And we have it pretty easy in Danish, right? Because when you think of some other languages, like in Spanish, the verb always changes depending on if it's you or me or he or she. For example, I'm speaking or he is speaking, the verb has to change. Whereas in Danish, it's just like in English, the verb stays the same, so it's irrelevant. If it's me and I say, jeg accepterer det, when I can write it, jeg accepterer det. Sådan her. Dut. If I say, he accepts it, han accepterer det. The verb is the same. It's irrelevant. Maybe I could say, we accept, vi accepterer det. Cool. With me on that one? Nu er det din tur. Let's see here. I'm gonna take another verb. Jeg tager dække og dække, which means to cover. So, following that rule, following that line of thought, go ahead and see if you can conjugate this verb. I'll give you a few seconds, or a minute, let's say, while I write it in myself. And then after you can check it against mine. I'm going to start with the imperative. So if you're just joining me, firstly, I want to celebrate the channel's new milestone of hitting the monetization. Thanks so much everybody for helping me achieve this huge goal. It's opened up a lot of doors for DanishTube, and there's a lot of new things coming, including new merchandise, new videos, new emojis, new icons, new badges, new super chats, all kinds of stuff. So I appreciate you might not be with me today, but all right now. But when you are, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Anyway. I finished. How about you? At dække. How do you conjugate at dække? Following the same rule as before. Plus R plus DE plus T. Can I send some fun emojis here? Nogle sjove emojier. Jeg prøver det lige. For sjovt. Hvorfor ikke? Sådan. Okay, here it comes. Dæk og dække, dækker, dækkede, har, havde, dækket. Sådan. So I've started with my imperative, and notice how the verb at dække, to cover, has two K's, two consonants. Usually when you have two consonants, you will lose one of them in the imperative form, the imperative, the command. Dæk, I don't know, like, set the table. Dæk bordet. Dæk bordet. Cool. Let's take another verb. This time, dreje. That's a nice verb. At dreje means to turn. For example, if you're in the car, så drejer du til højre eller til venstre. Okay, following the same logic, how do you conjugate the verb at dreje? Let's go. Du får 1 minut. You have a minute. I'm gonna write it in as well. Jeg skriver det. Sådan der. If you're just joining me, we are conjugating some verbs, and I'm going through what I call group 1. Pattern 1, high percentage of verbs. Follow this exact pattern. Check it out in the chat box. In the comment section, you'll be able to see how it works. you got it? Dreje conjugates like this. Drej. Dreje. Drejer. Drejet. Har, hel, drejet. Sorry. Har, hel, drejet. Kan ikke tale så godt nu. So, same thing. Imperative, lose the E from the infinitive at dreje. Present tense, nutil, add an R to the infinitive, drejer. Past tense, datil, add a D and a E to dreje. Drejet. And the past particles, that is the, what is it called? Perfect present past, I've even forgot it myself now. Før nutil og før datil. Det hedder på dansk. Nemmere. Present perfect, past perfect, that was it. Har or hel drejet. Sådan der. Have or had driven, I think you might say. One little point here with pronunciation is all these endings of verbs where they end in ede, it's very common to hear people pronounce it as almost two syllables. So in the past tense here, drejede, drejede, 3 syllables in total, drejede, which you can do. It's not incorrect really, but it kind of is, because nobody really talks like that, right? They would make it into 2 syllables, drejede, drejede, drejede. And you have the same sound on all of these verbs. So, drejede, dækkede, accepterede, not accepterede, but accepterede. Sådan. Okay, let's take one more. What verb? Formulere, to formulate. I'll say dejligt ord. Lovely word. Formulere. See if you can conjugate it. Write in the chat if you're here. If you're watching, have a go. I'm gonna, nice and chill, write it in. Sådan der. Have you done it? Did you figure it out? Here it comes. Oh yeah. Formulere. Lose the E from infinitive. At formulere, to formulate. Formulere, add an R. Formulere, add a D and an E to the infinitive. And then har or hel, formulere, add a T to the infinitive. So you can see huge amount of verbs follow the exact same rule. If this needs to be your best friend, ordnet.dk. This is the online dictionary. And if you open it up, search for a verb, you'll see under the word in red a word called bøjning, which I mentioned at the start, an amazing word, which means conjugation. So when you get a new verb and you don't know, well, how do I conjugate this one? Is this in group 1 or is this in another group? Open up ordnet.dk, write in your word, and it will tell you underneath present, de, past, t, past particles. Nice. If you're just joining us again, I'm here going through some of the most common verb patterns in Danish. I've already done group 1. Check out the comment section if you missed it. And I'm also kind of celebrating the new milestone on the channel, that we've reached the point of super chats, special emojis, icons, bonus videos, membership. You can now join and be a team of Team Aarhus or Team Copenhagen. Your choice. Are you Team Aarhus or Team Copenhagen? Go onto my channel, on the main page of my channel, to check out what it's all about and see what's going on. A lot of new exciting stuff. Let's take the second pattern, which I'm going to call group 2. And we're going to start with the verb betaler. Og betaler. Sådan. So, first thing. Og betaler, infinitive, to pay. Present tense, nutil, we do the same as before. We add an R. Plus R, det giver betaler. Sådan der. Men i datil, past tense, now it's a bit weird, but what we actually do is we put a T in between the last two letters of the infinitive. So we have betaler, it becomes betalte. Betalte. And then for the past particles, har, hel, før nutil, før datil, then we keep betalte and we drop the E. It becomes betalt. Jeg har, hel, betalt. This pattern is a little bit, well, not as straightforward as the first one, but it's easy to understand, right? That's it. And if we go back to our imperative, the same thing, we lose the E from the infinitive, which becomes betal. Betal. Sådan der. Betaler, betalte, har, havde, betalt. Sådan. Easy. So, same thing. High percentage of verbs will follow that exact pattern, and I have some other examples for you. Next verb is bevise. Bevise, which means to prove. Let's say, whoops, prove. So, go ahead, see if you can use the second pattern to conjugate og bevise. Sådan der. Jeg er færdig. Jeg bliver færdig med det. Hvad med dig? Har du fundet ud af det? Det skal være sådan her. Dusk. Bevis, bevise, beviser, bevidste, har bevidst. Sådan der. Har bevist, har bevist, bevidste, har bevist. Sådan der. Easy, right? Now we have two very clear, easy patterns. Let's take one more. One or two more. Next verb is kælde. Og kælde. Maybe it's easy for you now. I'm going to write it in. Har du fundet ud af det? Det skal være sådan her. Kald og kalde. Kalder, kældte, har, havde, kaldt. So, one more time. We have, always refer back to your infinitive. Kælde, present tense, plus an R, kalder. Past tense, add a T in between the last two letters. Kældte. And før nutil, før datil, lose the E from the past tense. And it becomes kaldt, har, havde, kaldt. Imperative, imperative, lose the E from the infinitive, just as before. Cool, I'm going to give you one more. Let's see. Og røre. To touch. Sådan her. Og røre. Se om du kan gøre det. Se om du kan bøjne verbaler. See if you can conjugate the verb. If you're just joining me, we're conjugating verbs. I've already been through group 1, as I call it. Check out the comment section. If you scroll up, you'll be able to see what I've done. And now we're on to group 2, which is the second main pattern that you see a lot with Danish verbs. And I've already been through 2-3 examples of basically what you do. Now we're trying to do the last one. Røre, to touch. I'm gonna write it in. Sådan. Har du fundet ud af det? Have you got it done? Fik du den lavet? Det skal være sådan her. Rør og rør. Rør. Rørte. Har havde. Rørt. I appreciate this is also a bit of a tricky verb to pronounce, but let's not worry about that right now. At røre, present tense, plus an R to the infinitive, røre. Add the T in between the last two letters, rørte. Drop the E from the past, and you're left with har, havde, rørt. Imperative, lose the E from the infinitive. Sådan der. Yeah, now we've had two very clear groups. Group 1, Group 2. Again, high percentage of verbs will fall into one of those two categories. There are some other patterns, and in the next video or the next live stream probably, we're going to go through some of the next common patterns that you see, and also the most common, or some of the most common, irregular versions. So, if you're joining me late, we've reached the end, but go back through the comment section, check out how to conjugate verbs in Danish, see these two main patterns and practice. Use ordnet.dk to find out how a verb should be conjugated if you don't know, and leave me a super chat. Become a member of Team Aarhus or Team Copenhagen. Get bonus videos, bonus podcast episodes, merchandise, emojis, badges, all kinds of cool stuff. Just go over to my channel, the main page, and check it out if that sounds like something fun for you. Ellers, tak for i dag. Vi ses i den næste. Hej hej.